It is a typical Sunday morning in Lagos. Members arrive church to worship and fellowship in the presence of God. Amidst the singing and dancing, the day feels slightly different, especially for parents. A sex scandal involving minors of a highbrow school in Lagos had taken over social discourse for days, and religious leaders are increasingly concerned.
Parents should regulate TV and internet use. Regulate what? Very important. Unlimited and unrestricted access to mobile phones and internet should be discouraged. What you do, get a landline in your house. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Tell them, use this phone, call your friends. But don't say you're rich. You know, these days we think it's money. I bought my boy an Apple. Apple what? Apple 13 Pro Max. For my son. How old is he? 13 years.
What you train children for is what they will be later. You know, the Christland school or something. That thing must have been happening somewhere. Maybe that child was left alone to watch unnecessary things on television, or somebody has been doing it in our presence. And that's why parents should be very, very careful.
And like the Christians, Islamic faithful also advocate for responsible parenting.
Important unit in any nation is the family unit. If it's broken, then the nation will be broke. So I think this reinforces it again, that as parents, we need to take care of our kids. We need to take care of our children, and we need to be conscious of what is going on in our environment. So I think that's where we need to reinforce and make sure that at least every one of us can account for the activities of our children.
We have to provide education for the fourth industrial revolution. Parents will have to be more alert and responsible at home. We don't have to outsource parenting to the schools, which is what is being done now.
Let's be honest, parenting has never been easy. But the widespread use of smartphones and the rise of social media has introduced a new wrinkle to the challenges of parenthood. Most people we spoke to say parenting is harder today than it was 20 years ago, with many citing advancement in information technology as a major reason.
The internet and social media has great impact on parenting today. And the rate at which the children have access to internet and social media has changed a lot about their interacting with each other. So the major challenge for the parent now is the ability to cope with the internet. Number one, the language of the internet, the parents have not come to ally themselves with it. And a child can be chatting beside the parent and doing a lot of things with the language of internet that the parent may not understand.
Africans, we need to define the way we live. Not everything that the Europeans or the Western world throw at us that we will take. That's what I understand. Because if you look at the Asians, they define their own way of living. The Arabs, they define their own way of living.
If we want to take a look of all those, dirty things we hear about that our children indulge themselves into via the internet, so it makes us more or less, worrisome for the parents.
Our children are learning a lot of bad things in the social media. The so-called social media is making the children to know what they don't know, they're supposed to not to know.
Most parents feel their kids should have phone. I'm not excluded, I'm a parent. If that English is correct, I'm a mom, let me say that. So there was a time I got my son a tab, so as I could just have my own phone to myself. Because there are most things, these kids, they know more than us. They could just go through your phone, probably check your chat, from there learn one or two things. So to me, I just make sure he uses the tab for his own work. That is all. Then if I'm not around, I will make sure I seize the tab spending, the only time he has access to use the tab is when I'm around. And again, you know, the internet alone is full of so many things. You get to see shows not even meant for kids, and parents are always busy. They don't have time to watch. So I think a whole lot of things is affecting the kids through the internet.
Well, the internet, you know, as we said, have the good side and have the bad side. The good side is what we are looking at today, you know, exposing us to so many things. But the bad side is most of our children doesn't even want to do researches again. They don't want to go to the library to do research. Most of them want to be on internet.
And there are some certain age that I think children doesn't need phone. They don't need it. But schools today, because of the lockdown that we experienced some years back, they want their children to study online, but that needs serious monitoring.
To ensure the safety of kids online, social media applications have put in place age restrictions among other regulations. So how old do you have to be to get on the different social media sites? Nearly all social networking sites only allow users aged 13 and above. They include Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. In 2018, WhatsApp announced a change to their terms and conditions for users based in Europe. Today, users will now need to be aged 16 to use the instant messaging application. The same age restriction applies for users of LinkedIn, Flickr, Vimeo, MySpace, and Periscope. Other social media sites have gone a step ahead to raise the bar. You must be 18 years and above to use applications like Clubhouse, Omegle, Monkey, MeetMe, LiveMe, Tagged, and YOLO. Enyime Omoziebia is an IT expert. He says the real issue is not a child's chronological age, but their maturity level. And so parental control on the kid's smartphone device is compulsory. He demonstrates how it can be done.
So the Family Link is available on Play Store. So once you are on Play Store, just search for Google Family Link or just Family Link. If the first, the options are there. Google Family Link, you select it, and the Google Family Link app is shown where you can install. So just install. It takes a few minutes to download and install on your device. Okay, let's just give it a few minutes. All this, it depends on your network speed. It depends on the quality of your network. So apart from Google Family Link, you can also use it on web browsers, the Chrome web browser, where you can register your child's email on your Chrome browser and also monitor activity, have a control over his activities online. Okay, I just wait a few moments for it to install. All right, so you open it. Okay, so you can see it there. Helps set digital background rules for children and teens. Screen time limits, day or night. Allow or block apps. Any app that is inappropriate can be blocked. Locate your child's device at a glance. So wherever the device is. So you select the account you want to use. Let me just pick my own account. Then who will be using this phone? Because as you download the app for the parents, you also download it for your child as well. That's how it will work. So I'm a parent, I select parent. Before you start, make sure the device you want to supervise for your child is nearby. Next, be ready to be a family member. I'm ready, so just select that. And does your child have a Google account ending in gmail.com? If no, you will likely be asked to create one. If yes, Just continue. You may be asked to enter that, that account. Just wait a few minutes for it to come up. All right. So get your child's device, open settings. It gives you instructions on what to do on that other device. For Android devices, go to Google Parental Controls, then follow the steps set up in Parental Controls. So on your child's Android device, okay, let me look for where those parental controls are on my own device here, which is what you do on, all right. So you just go to the Google option. This is Google, in the settings. This is parental control. So this is what you do on the other phone, on the other device. Supervise this phone remotely with the Family Link app for parents. You understand? So once you do that, it's also who will be using this device. So it will be a child or teen that will be there. Instead of if I say, but I don't want to do that to compromise the other setting I do here. But that's just it. Once you have done that, add your child's device. You need to set up your child's controls to use the Family Link. I believe once that is done, this one sees the other device and both devices are connected. Sorry, I don't have a second device here. I would have just demonstrated using a child's device, but this is what you do on the child's device. Link your child's Google account with your So that's basically it. That's basically what.
If your child is currently on social media or they've been asking to join, it's important to talk to them about what social media is, what rules you have for it, and how it doesn't always show an accurate picture of someone's life. Children being exposed to the internet have far-reaching prospects and consequences. Children and teenagers use social media to have fun, make and maintain friendships, share interests, explore identities, and develop relationships with family. It's an extension of their offline and face-to-face interactions. But on the flip side, the risks include being exposed to inappropriate or upsetting content like mean, aggressive, violent, or sexual comments or images, uploading inappropriate content like embarrassing or provocative photos or videos of themselves or others, sharing personal information with strangers, for example, phone numbers, date of birth or location, and cyberbullying. While coming of age on social media is inevitable, the internet is as dangerous for the adolescent mind as the streets of a crime-ridden city for the innocent. This isn't new information. So how can parents take greater responsibility?
Parents of adolescents should use wisdom. Use what? To teach sex education and not allow the children learn from their peers. Churches will not say it. Teach your children. Mothers especially. Especially what? Sit your daughter and tell your daughter, when you get to a certain age, you will see blood. This is the meaning.
It's just for parents to be more aware of what their kids are onto. Parents have this attitude of leaving devices and we are tired, just enjoy yourself, or they just want to engage the children, don't disturb me. But parents should be on top of whatever their kids are doing online. The internet is a very unsafe place right now. So parents should actually make use of several apps, gadgets, tools available to them, for monitoring their children. They should be able to control children's, some may say that even from a certain age, why should the children have control over apps? But even if they do, as parents, you should be able to monitor and control them. So you shouldn't act surprised when you see your child looking at a strange site, because if you're on top of the situation, that won't be the case.
Social media has changed how we communicate, get the news, and share our lives with others. In a world where the internet gives us our own soapbox with no boundaries, it has also affected parenting.
You have your CUG, the closed user group, which companies have that enables a company to have several lines in bulk. There can be CUG for families as well, where a line is registered as the main line and others are registered as minors under that line. So that enables the main one to be able to monitor whatever. So the telecommunication companies, they should know the different technologies they can deploy. But that would be a good one that they can do, such as they have a CUG for families that enables you to control what children can do. Also enable tracking on those devices. Devices should be able to track. Even with Google, you can track devices to know wherever a device is. So communication companies can help in that too. It helps with security and it helps with parental controls as well.
Know the friend of your kids or know your kids' friends. Because the truth is, if you tell them, don't use this phone, no, don't do this, so you will not always be, like today now I'm going out. When my son comes back from school, do I know what he will do? So if it's just to make sure, oh, it's cartoon this boy will watch, try, it's not easy. Try and let them just watch cartoon. And again, songs they listen to, you can imagine a child of 5 years telling you, you're dancing, you know all of that. So the only way they can help again is make sure they curtail how they have access to uncles and aunties' phone. Auntie, let me play games. No, because from playing games, they can leave that games and go to other apps.
You must understand them. Now, what you don't understand, you can't control. So once you learn, now, and the best place to learn is to learn from them. Then from there, when we understand their language on social media, we can now impact them positively and telling them the effect of what they are doing.
This is what they say, charity begins at home. I think it's time for us to call to put a call to each parent, because whatever anything you learn from house, we reflect to the society. So I think it's a time for each parent to be of good guardians and good orientation to their children, because I can't imagine a situation whereby a secondary school student or a primary school student that are now involving themselves in the issue of this courtesan and all of that, and it is uncalled for. It's uncalled for. I think on that, the parents have a very big role to play on that.
First people that's supposed to take care of children or students will be their parents. And parents are supposed to know that their children are the part of the society in time to come. And they are the ones that are going to lead the society. So they must give them the right training from home. They must give them the right training from home. And they must ensure that children have discipline. They must discipline their children and make them to know the positive way of living, the right attitude to live, the right choices to make from home. It is the way our parents guide their children. That is the way they come out to school. So you have parents on one side where the children will come out and then they will now enter school. Then the rest is from the management, school management. The type of child that has come to school with the kind of discipline that has been from the parents will now be the one the children will now take to school. Coming to school, the management must have rules and regulations and must have their own system where they know that, look, this is what is expected of every child.
We enjoin parents to pay particular attention to the activities of their children, whether at home or elsewhere. This will no doubt reduce the incidence of crimes and criminality among the youth. All the atrocities in our society, all the vices in our society all crimes are local. Because all these children or adults, they are from one family or another.
We have found out that every parent must be on the lookout for their children, whether at home, in school, within the community, and wherever they find themselves, because that's about the only legacy we can leave after leaving this world. And so, and of course, the environment also shows that the police are not relenting in their effort. It's not only about enforcement, but we're also using this medium, to reach out to parents, to reach out to the children, to be able to have a change in their ways of life.
We need to start to put in some control. There is no way you can be a parent and you say, oh, you can't give your kids every access. Of course, I'm not the type that will say, oh, you should gag your kids, or, you need to let them, be trendy also, because the world is a global village. So they need to be part of that global community for them to be able to function, or else they're going to limit them and incapacitate them for internet. But then there has to be some checks. You need to be very close to your kids. It's very, very important for parents to be very, very close to their children. Parents should not be distracted by, the everyday hustle and bustle. You want to make money and all that, and then you neglect the home front. So you need to be very close to your kids. Know, because if you engage them, you interact with them, they'll be able to share with you what they come across every day. Then you'll be able to come in. Of course, they will come to you, with a kind of, they have this inquisitive mind. And the way they are moving right now, they are moving at a very fast pace. In fact, they look at you that you are not even trendy. So you yourself, a parent needs to update himself or herself. You need to be in tune with modernity so that you'll be able to engage them at that level. So if you are not in tune with it, they will look at you and then they shut you out. And that could be very, very dangerous. So number one, you need to be available. Number two, you need to be up. You need to up the ante in terms of information and then know what is trendy, so that when they come to meet you, you can actually put in you understand, the safety nets without gagging them.
Parents must know that times have changed and must adopt a more effective way to raise the next generation for a better society.